pushed it, and it, jumped the area, but I didn't have a lot of blood, so I'm thinking I winged it. But I looked for about 2 hours today and come up with nothing. It snowed last night, so anyway, I looked at it. The snow was going to cover the tracks anyways, one way or the other, so it is what it is. Maybe he'll come back tonight.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. It's Tuesday the 28th, and you're not supposed to get heated up when setting up. You're blind, but I'm sure by the time the end of season, the time gets here tonight, I'll be freezing my goddamn ass off because I'm sweating. So, what are you going to do? I can't take my orange off. And things change, right? That's the thing. You're hunting in October, you're prepared for October, and then all of a sudden it's going to be the end of November or December, and the people come and they move the deer, and it snows and everything changes, and you need to be thinking about, where's my December stand? Where's my muzzleloader stand going to be at? So this is where my muzzleloader stand is going to be. Kind of was I were before when I was out here for gun, but I took it down because I didn't want anybody to take my blind. But I guess now if that happens, then we'll say la vie. What are you going to do? But it's in the same general area. All those rubs are a little further away from them. But of course, there's deer that have been moving in. I could see the tracks in the snow last night sometimes. So hopefully they're still moving through. And it's just hopefully. Don't you hate it when your hunters are always like, hopefully? No, what do you think I'm going to say? Boy, I sure hope that it doesn't happen. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Oh, there's bear. No, there's nothing out there. Okay. He quote me on that. Direct quote. That is either, I don't think the camera got it. That's either the 6 or 8 point. It was right out in front of me. God. I can't even. He was right in front of me. He was right fucking in front of me. And then when I went to go rack in a new round, he fucking heard it and was gone. He was right in front of me. He was right there. He couldn't have been 50 yards away. Broadside.
I'm gonna shut the camera down and focus on looking for big bucks, since Keith just saw one and his gun misfired. That sucks. And we were just talking about his gun, so I don't know. I'll see you guys in the truck.
So, anyway,
there you go.
We would have been sitting there for that long, and I'm in my new spot, and I'm all sweaty because I just put up my pop-up, and got to wear your orange, and don't want to get shot while I'm doing it. I'm like, well, you know, which windows do I want open? And I'm like, I want to keep it pretty dark in here. And I'm looking out, and I'm like, all right, well, what can I see? What can I see? I'm not used to this. I'm like, hell, look at that. Look at that shape right there. That kind of looks like a deer hunched over. And then the hunched over thing moved. And I was like, that's deer. There's a deer there. So I flipped on the camera and reached over to get the gun that was leaning against the thing. And I did, and then I'm like, well, okay, where did it go? Well, it had moved just a little bit, and then I could see it again. So I'm like, that's a deer, and that's a buck. That's like, there's no doubt in my mind, that's a big bodied deer, and that is a buck, and it's probably out in front of me 50 yards, 75 yards. It can't be that far, because it's 100 yards to where my tree stand was, and it's the same buck I had been seeing going back and forth, and that's where I saw it going back and forth at, and there it was, broadside at 50 to 75 yards. Got the camera going, bring the gun up, crosshairs right on the shoulder, click. So the other day, I had been talking about how people are bitching about this Bushmaster 450 and how easy it is for the bolt handle to just move just a tiny, and it blows out of battery. And I look on, like, so the deer is like, what am I gonna do? It goes click. It's kind of looking over at me now because it heard the click. So now I'm trying to ease the bolt. You know what you can't do? You can't quietly ease back a bolt handle. And get rid of the round that's in there and put in another round. That isn't quietly happening. So the deer hears me quietly racking the round, and it's looking at me, and it takes a few jumps, and then it's bounding. It's gone. I'm looking, and I can see it hauling. It is not coming back. And yeah, that's the story of my deer hunt this evening. The buck I had seen 3 times previously finally got close enough to it, and
Somebody is hunting over here.
my gun went click. You know what? My Mossberg 500 never, ever, ever, not once in all the 20, 30 years I've had it did was go click. Not once.
You should sue them. Sue them people.
Well, me and all the other people on the 450 page bitching about, what can I do to not have my bolt bump up and go out of battery?
You know what's crazy is yesterday walking with the 30-30 out in the woods. I didn't have any, no problems whatsoever.
No, I'm going through my guns in my mind, and I'm like,
but today,
lever actions don't do that.
But today, my lever action kept popping open.
Like the... Really?
I don't know what was going on with it.
Snagging something on your back?
Probably, probably something on, around my waist or, my backpack or something. But it's just weird that, it doesn't affect me, because I'm just walking. But there's a couple of times I'm like, Jesus Christ, the thing was open. I could see the bullet in the chamber. And I'm like, okay, this is...
I was just talking. It was either yesterday or the day before.
Yep.
But it was last night, wasn't it?
Yep.
I was just talking last night. You gotta push down on it. I gotta push down on it. Well, I didn't have it sitting on my lap. When it sits on my lap, I keep my hand on it. That way it's forced down. This just, the deer's the deer. Grab your gun, put your gun up. And when you're at the range, it's easy to go through that process. But when you don't have the muscle memory of doing it 1,000 repetitions, then what you get click. That's what you get.
Well, I got, I went and looked for that deer and found nothing. They're eating the acorns. They're feeding on acorns. They're already tearing it up out there. Saw a bunch of rubs, big rubs. So I know that there's a big deer around there somewheres. They all look, they're not super old. But anyway, so hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, I walked around, saw nothing. Didn't see a single fresh track anywhere, which was a little bit depressing. And got up in my tree stand, and I'm kind of going through my mind from yesterday. And I'm like, I don't even know why I shot. Something's wrong with me. I'm a freaking idiot. I should have never taken that shot. I looked at it and I'm like, what did I even shoot at? Like, how did I even shoot? There's limbs here. I'm like, I thought it was over there. But when looking for my stand, I'm like, there's no way I shot over there. It had to be over here. And I'm like, I don't even know how the hell I shot at it there. So yeah, it was... I don't know. I guess, us Nomadians, us Nomad Outdoors guys, we get
Strike two.
So excited when we see a deer because we hardly ever see one. And I'm not saying your situation's completely different than mine.
But dude, my heart was in my throat.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure when I go back and look at play it on the camera, you're gonna hear my freaking breathing.
The crazy thing is you'll go out there with a muzzleloader and it won't click. It'll go boom.
Yep, every time.
And you were, like I said, like you just said, you were just talking about that bolt coming unseated ever so slightly.
And I'm sitting there. While I'm sitting there, I'm like just in the blind. I'm putting just the slightest bit of pressure on it, and that's all it takes. Now it's out of battery. You're done. That's it. It's not going to work. So.
Well, it's only day 2. How much more shenanigans could we experience?
Well, I suppose we could have one of those Snornados that could just come and pick me in my blind right up off the ground, swirl me off into Wisconsin.
Dude, what did that wind do?
Throw me in the middle of Lake Michigan.
What was up with that wind tonight? Oh, it's not going to be windy at all. And then right at the great hunting time, that last 15 minutes of light, all of a sudden it's like, whoosh. Dude, I couldn't feel my fingers anymore. I'm like, I don't even know if I could turn the safety off. That was cold.
It's pretty nice in the blind, though.
Oh, yeah.
But there again, I'm out putting that thing together and moving stuff around and getting all heated up, and then I get back in there and I'm like, okay, now I'm sweating my ass off. Brilliant. How many times have I done that? Every time.
Yep. Anyways, so that's it. There's our story.
Yeah, so?
Yes, so.
There you go.
Shenanigans. That's what you get.
That's what you get.
Yep. If you were watching one of them big shows, they would be saying,
look at this big buck. Oh, it's beautiful.
Look at that GrayBear.
I smoked it. Oh,
shot this deer on public land.
Smoked it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Looks like a bunch of deer turkeys running through there. Sons of guns.
Easy over here.
Bye now.
Bye now. See ya.